Imagine every day living in fear that everything you know could be blown to dust with the drop of one bomb. In the late 1950s and early 1960s, this was the reality that everyone had to deal with. The threat that nuclear warfare could break out at any moment was a possibility, and people were very scared of this. My father was in elementary school at the time, and this possibility was very scary for him. After an interview with my father and research on the Wisconsin Historical Society.org and NobelPrize.org, I learned a great deal about the issue of living in fear of the hydrogen bomb. To start, I'll offer up some history. At the end of World War II, after the drop of the atomic bomb on Hiroshima, people realized how scary nuclear weapons were. And on top of that, the new weapons were being developed, such as the hydrogen bomb, which was 1,000 times stronger than the atomic bomb. And this is a picture of the hydrogen bomb and what it would do. These new technologies people had never experienced before, and it was very scary for them to have to think about the fact of this nuclear warfare. On top of this, after World War II, the United States became enemies with Russia, and this began the Cold War. And during the Cold War, the United States was developing new nuclear weapons, as well as Russia. So this meant that nuclear war could break out between them, and it became a very real issue. People never had to deal with this before, because previously war had just been men go to fight and leave the United States, and it never would be bombs dropped on our homeland. But this meant that it would happen. The masses would be affected by it. With this threat of nuclear disaster, people took many steps to protect themselves. They would build nuclear fallout shelters. This is an ad in Time magazine, 1959, for a shelter that you can purchase and build yourself to protect you in the event of nuclear fallout. They also would do drills in elementary schools to practice in the event of a nuclear disaster, and this is what my father participated in. He said it was very scary, and it really made the threat real. He said it impacted the entire generation, and I have a quote from him explaining how real and how much it impacted him. He said, "It cast a pall over the whole collective conscience of our generation. We had to deal with the reality that the rusty wire that holds the cork in place could break at any time and leave us without air." This really shows how they realized that everything they had could fall apart at any moment, and it really showed me how much it affected him and the rest of his generation. The fact that nuclear war could break out just scared everyone, and it was a reality during the 1960s. Right now, 8 countries possess nuclear weapons, and so far they're regulated by laws, but the fact that nuclear war could break out is a possibility eventually, and right now we're lucky we don't have to deal with it, but it could be something we have to deal with.